What are you laughing at?
I'm trying to play straight after fucking that.
Don't tell him what the joke was. It's not appropriate.
No, it's not appropriate. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Geekcast podcast. My name is Greg St. Clair.
Dan Whitehead.
Patrick Howard.
And welcome to the 21st
Did you even say your full first name? I feel like you just said Trick Howard.
No, it's Patrick Howard.
Trick
We're gonna
Trick
call-
Howard? That sounds like a six-stage
That is your new nickname. We're calling you Trick.
That
Oh,
is a six-stage name. Oh,
Damn it.
man.
I am Trick Howard. Private Eye.
Yes, welcome to the Geekcast podcast. It's been a busy week
no shit.
for all of us here.
First full week back for us.
Yes, super busy. Homework all the time. All the time, I feel like. At least for me. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
No, yeah, we had some stuff.
Yeah, wait, you guys have homework?
Yeah, I know.
Crazy. Oh my gosh. Homework and
Granted, it involves watching a movie for one of our classes, but
well, I'm in that class too.
at least one
so-
of the classes. Actually, I have to watch a movie for multiple of the classes. But
I actually had to watch a movie for my business ethics class too. I forget what it's called, but he's making us watch it. I was like, oh my gosh, I love these classes.
yeah,
I still have to finish the piano though today. I think I have like 40 minutes left. Anyway, and even last night we were up. Well, Dan and I were up later than Patrick, but we were
I had
still
work.
Yeah, we're still up pretty late. From 7:30 p.m. till about 3 in the morning, we were shooting a short film project for a film festival here on campus at Stevenson, the MAP Film Festival. And it's going to be the first ever Geekcast Network video production. Very excited. That'll be posted up on our YouTube page probably.
yeah. Probably not till after the festival, just so we don't ruin
Right.
the surprise and all that stuff for anybody. And we're not saying too much about the plot, just that it's a little action piece, a little quick.
Surprisingly
action
not
piece.
comedy, which I thought we would always do first, but no.
No,
That's
this is it's not totally. It's actually not a comedic at all.
Mm-mm. Very, very dark, fast-moving kind of stuff. I mean,
Mhm.
quite literally in the way we shot it,
Mm-hmm.
and then also in the elements or the themes of it. And saying what you were saying with comedy, I was saying that to Greg last night that like this seemed like a better fit for us to do something in this vein.
I think it's
Of this
it's
kind
what
of
we
project,
all
like-
want to do this. We're all comfortable with. Yeah.
Yeah, it felt so much better working with something like this than trying to be funny and like
Yeah.
because if you notice, we had way less bloopers being serious, and then like okay, a couple times we crack up. Whereas like when we were trying to be funny, it's like you're like extra silly and
Yeah.
like kind of stuff, so it's hard to
Well,
work.
that's like that's part of the whole filming of comedies too. Because when I was watching the deleted scenes and bloopers or whatever of Scrubs,
Right.
it was always multiple takes of like different jokes.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean that's kind of the thing with comedies. Like you just keep doing it and doing it and doing it until you find something that you
Works,
think fits
yeah.
best. So, but definitely for the serious roles, the only like one big blooper was Patrick was handing me a gun and
Oh, yeah.
and looked at me and nodded to this person and then just started laughing for no reason.
Oh, the other big one was when you were pulling. I guess it's hard. I can say this. When you were pulling the bag off of Baghead,
Mhm.
and like you like cracked up there. That's all I'm gonna say.
Also, when the
that.
clip from the gun fell out.
Oh, the mag this dropped.
the
Yeah,
mag,
yeah.
that's funny.
Mm-hmm.
And we're very excited to see that. The submission for this video is on the 15th for the festival, and the festival is the 25th, which is a Thursday. So around that time, probably that following episode, which would be on the 28th, you would see it on our Facebook page and YouTube page and all that good stuff.
And if you're a Stevenson resident, come out to the film festival.
Mhm.
Not saying you have to vote for us, but if you do like it, do vote for it. But
Yeah.
if not, just come out and support your local filmmakers.
Yes. Appreciate it.
Speaking of that, we're also, Greg and I submitted something for our pilot episode to a
that's
film
right.
festival,
Mm-hmm.
and we're waiting to see what happens with that.
Yeah, we're pretty excited about that, just to get the script out there, and hopefully something comes of it. Probably
And-
not, but we're
and
optimistic.
I think
Try.
if we totally love this piece,
Mm-hmm.
might try and throw it into a couple things and see what happens.
Yeah,
I'm not talking, I don't know if it's Sundance or anything like that material, but a couple smaller ones maybe,
yeah,
just to
we
keep
try.
just in practice of it.
Yeah.
But cool. Actually, I'm going to be getting a lot into film festival kind of stuff lately because of our narrative class that Patrick and I are in, or both of the videos that we're working on separate videos. Him as script supervisor.
Yep. And first AD.
First AD, and
Assistant
then me
director.
as producer for a different project. They both are like, the main goal, of course, is to put them into film festivals and stuff. So be looking out for that a lot. I'm excited.
Well, that, and we also taking a history of film festivals course where we get to travel by Southwest. I think we've talked about this on the show before. And we had to watch a video from Cannes,
Mm-hmm.
the Cannes Film Festival in France, and that's our first assignment to write a review for that. But even so, we're still talking about all the new things that are happening with South by Southwest, and we're super excited about that.
Yeah, I think we're probably going to bring at least a
We're
mic.
gonna try to do like an episode.
and do
over
something.
I think
Definitely.
we should definitely.
We'll figure out how we'll do that, if we're going to do little interviews throughout or whatever. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But yeah, we definitely will try and get a lot of information and free stuff. I love free stuff.
Gotta get the free stuff.
And
Free swag.
talk to as many people as we can, even if I got to bring my task cam around. And
Yeah, like we did at Baltimore Comic Con.
Yeah, but this time it'll be a little better because we have three of us
Yes.
than trying to do like me with all this stuff and then you on camera. Wasn't working very well. So
Right. But we're all super excited about the film festival stuff. At Sundance right now, which is making a lot of noise, is this movie called The Birth of a Nation, which is actually produced by someone we know. I can call him friend, kinda, probably not, but
more
someone
of
we
like
know.
Friendly acquaintance.
I'm more of an acquaintance that we met,
Yes.
or something.
Jason Michael Berman, who produced a movie called The Benefactor, which we saw was screened to us here at Stevenson before it was officially released. I believe it's out now.
Yeah,
it
it came
is.
out in January.
Came out in January.
And I put that interview up with him.
You did? Okay.
Not in an episode, but just like its own interview. If anyone wants to listen to it, it's on YouTube. He mostly talks about The Benefactor, but he like gets into Birth of a Nation just a little bit. Just like that his next project was that at the time, and of course now it's post that. So
Yeah, we did the interview back in
October.
Mm-hmm.
So at the time he was like, "Oh, we're gearing up for Sundance," and then of course I didn't release it until after Sundance. So just keep that in mind when you're watching it. But the information is still there and accurate. And Benefactor is a really cool movie. I don't know. Did we ever talk about the?
We weren't allowed to.
We weren't allowed to, but we can say it now, I
Yeah,
guess.
sure.
You two saw it, but yeah.
That's right. So basically, it stars Richard Gere, Dakota Fanning, and Theo James from from the Divergent series. Dakota Fanning's in a bunch of stuff, and Richard Gere a bunch of stuff too. But Benefactor is Richard Gere. Basically, he's never really had like a family of his own, like kids and all that kind of stuff. So he kind of saw his friends' like family as like his, and becomes really close to them. And then of course something tragic happens to the family, and so he tries to like stay in their lives and be as helpful as he can. And of course the way he's being helpful isn't very beneficial to people around him and himself, but of course he doesn't see it that way.
And he's dealing with the tragedy of his friend's accident, so he's dealing with that and kind of putting his emotions just to the side and just trying to get through with trying to be their kid's benefactor.
Right. Really cool movie. I think the best part of it for me was the way it was shot. I think the look of it was probably the strongest piece of it. Solid performance by Richard Gere.
Yeah.
Really solid. Probably one of the few movies I've seen entirely with him in it. I haven't seen a whole lot of stuff with him, just because he's in a lot of older things. That,
And a lot of like 90s romantic comedies. And stuff
right.
Like
And it just, those never really suited me. I've seen some of Pretty in Pink and like that kind of stuff. But Dakota Fanning, like I said, she pops up in a lot of things, so you probably have seen her before. Does a pretty good role. Felt she was a little young for what they were like going with, like when it kind of jumps ahead. It was a little hard to believe, like because of course she's starting her family. Theo James plays her boyfriend, and like they're pregnant or she's pregnant and all that stuff. And that was kind of like, I don't know if I believe that, but I guess it's like a young pregnancy or whatever. But
Right.
and then
they were like fresh out of college
yeah,
because he like just got out of medical school and
she wasn't in it as much as I thought she was going to be. I thought it was going to be like Richard Gere and her, but it was more like Richard Gere and Theo James
right.
relationship. But Yeah, definitely worth a watch. Really cool. And Jason, like we said, produced that as well.
Yeah, very, very good if you're able to check it out. It hits on a lot of hard points. There are a lot of interesting plot lines throughout the movie that just really hit a nerve where you're just like, wow, what? Damn. Like it really makes you think about how events like this happen and the emotion that goes with it and how people deal with tragic accidents, depression, and all the different formulas with that.
Right. But yeah, Jason was a really cool guy. Nice enough to
nice.
take a couple minutes and talk to us. I mean, it was 20 minutes he gave us, even that, and I think even that was a lot for him to give because I know as soon as we were done, and even before it, he was always emailing.
He was on his phone the entire time, just
not
trying to
in
get
a bad
projects.
way.
No, not
but
at all.
Just
he's
that's
working.
his job.
Yeah,
so
he's working. So very, very nice guy.
Yeah, and we hope all the best with that Birth of a Nation and all future projects, and hopefully we get to chat with him in the future.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Maybe we'll see him at Sundance if we go.
That would be awesome.
Because I know he goes every year and stuff like that, so maybe we'll run into him or whatever. But
yeah,
if you're listening, congratulations on the success.
Yes, Jason.
And talk to you soon. But anyway, we'll move on.
Yeah, we'll move on. There's not a whole lot to talk about today, like we said, because we were super busy with classwork this first full week of school, and
there just wasn't a lot out.
Wasn't a lot out. We wanted to go see Hail Caesar. But with this film project, trying to get it done this weekend, unfortunately, we weren't able to do that. But definitely next week, or this upcoming week, so much is coming out. For one, which currently has a 100% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes, is Deadpool.
Right.
Which we are so stoked to see. Really excited to see the first rated R superhero, anti-hero movie, whatever you want to call it.
In a while.
The fact that it has a 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes is unreal.
From like 25 reviews or something.
From like professional critics. I thought they were just gonna like see it from like a completely polar opposite view, and they just like they didn't like get it, or it was just
I
know for me, I'll probably see that now before I see Hail Caesar.
Oh yeah,
Hail Caesar probably have to wait.
Does Zoolander 2 come out this weekend? Is it Valentine's Day?
Maybe it is Valentine's week coming up, or weekend.
I think it comes out this week. Also, I'm gonna double check on that real quick. But I also want to see that because I'm a huge fan of the first Zoolander, and I'm a fan of like Ben Stiller, Owen Wilson comedies. I think they do a really, really good job together. They work really well together. So the fact that they're making a sequel right now just makes things so much better.
Yeah, I think
February 12th. Yep. Okay.
That's what
this weekend.
Friday. Yeah, I won't be here Saturday and Sunday, so Friday though we can go and see Deadpool.
We go Thursday if you want to. No, we have KJ's thing.
Yeah,
we could see a late one.
Real late,
like 10. Yeah, if you're interested, Patrick.
Yeah. I mean, we just have our film aesthetics class in the morning, but
I work in the morning too, so we're on the same boat.
Yeah, we're good. And then Friday night maybe we see Hail Caesar or something.
Hail Caesar
or Zoolander. I'd rather see Hail Caesar than Zoolander personally, but.
Yeah.
Just because
the Coen brothers.
I like the Coen brothers a lot more, and Zoolander I've seen like once. I wasn't as big a fan as you guys may be. And I still like Ben Stiller. No one was like I agree with that part. I just never was.
And like it's still the Coen brothers, and even if we have problems with, if we do have problems with Hail Caesar, like it's still like it's gonna be like one of the most best crafted films so far in the year.
Yeah, they said it's very like a very nice golden saturated look at like 50s Hollywood or something like that. So I think if nothing else, maybe the story isn't the greatest, but it'll be a nice look
and a lot of critics I've heard that like, with Coen Brothers movies, their films don't really have an end to them. They just kind of just stop.
Yeah.
And it's like this one, it does have an end, but it doesn't really mean as much. It's just kind of like almost like a very loving, but kind of almost like pointless tribute to the film. So that is a problem for me, but honestly, if I still enjoy myself,
oh yeah, I mean,
I'll still like the film.
You can't go wrong with Clooney, Brolin, Scarlett Johansson, Jonah Hill,
Tilda Swinton,
Channing Tatum. You can't go wrong with that cast.
Yeah, they
the
pull in a
nice
big cast.
I'm a big George Clooney fan.
Yeah.
I enjoyed pretty much everything he's done. Even Gravity, which I'm not a huge fan of that movie, I think he did a great job in that role.
Even Batman and Robin.
I
had to ask.
For the style of Batman that it was a Tim Burton film.
It wasn't a Tim Burton film. It was
was
Joel
Joel
Schumacher.
Which one was Tim Burton?
Tim Burton did the first two,
And then I think
Batman
he
and Batman Returns.
He kind of like sort of produced the
But
rest.
that was still with George Clooney, wasn't it?
No.
That was with,
You had Michael Keaton did the first two.
was that with Burton?
Tim Burton did those.
Oh.
Then both of them left, and Joel Schumacher came in with Val Kilmer and did Batman
Forever.
Forever Ever.
Oh.
And then he left Val Kilmer, and they brought George Clooney in, and Schumacher stayed, and they added Bat Nipples.
Mm-hmm.
And
What
you
year
had
was
George
that? Like
Clooney.
80s?
97.
97?
That-
Yeah, maybe not then.
I can tell you 89, 92, 95, and 97. I don't know why I know all those, but
So maybe it's the role of Batman, maybe not.
Even
Then, yeah.
even ER when he was on ER.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
because you watched DR.
I've seen episodes of ER. I mean, Clooney's the man.
I've been in the hospital. Yeah.
Yeah,
I know ER.
I've been in the hospital.
Hospital.
Okay.
That's like when you say you watch Grey's Anatomy. It's like, I could be a doctor. I've
Yeah,
seen Grey's
totally.
Anatomy. That's like I could be in advertising because I've seen Mad Men. That's the same logic, right?
I can
there.
make math because I've seen Breaking Bad.
Exactly. I mean, the list goes on.
Right.
I could be a superhero because I've seen Flash. Ooh, good segue.
Flawless, Dan. That was
Thank
beautiful.
you. Very, very good segue. So, yeah, this week we're talking about just really CW stuff because that's our weekly thing that we always do and review them and whatever. Let's start with, or whatever. Let's start with the big stuff, the big news this week, which is Flash and Supergirl will officially cross over. Flash is going to Supergirl, not the other way around. I was kind of hoping it'd be the other way around
Yeah.
because now I have to watch Supergirl, which I'm still, like, it's in a couple of weeks and I'm still, like, not watching it. But I might just tune in and hope for the best.
Or I might just read recaps of the episodes or something like that. Something like
Yeah. I mean, it's cool that they brought Martian Manhunter in.
And
I think
that's when I actually got reinterested. Like, okay, well, they brought.
I think that's a little quick, but it was like 5 episodes. Like, oh, Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, maybe during South by, when we have like downtime, we take it like each day to just like watch this. Probably not.
Probably not.
That probably won't happen.
No,
No,
there's gonna be so much going on. We won't have any
I
time
hope
to do
to
anything.
be as busy as crap, so that when we're in the hotel room, we're just like snoozing, snoozing and showering and taking a crap. See what I did there? Anyway, so what are your guys' thoughts on Flash going to Supergirl?
I am glad they're expanding the multiverse. I think it's a great thing that they're doing, just combining everything as often as possible, and it just creates more depth within what's going on.
Yeah, I think with Flash going to Supergirl's universe, which is very kind of fluffy, very lighthearted, even for Flash, I think it should work. I think it'd be a little odd, I think almost like her going to that, because even compared to Flash, or compared to Supergirl, Flash is actually a little darker.
Mm-hmm.
So unless Melissa Benoist would be willing to like almost like change up her acting style a little bit. But
I wonder. So in Supergirl, from the 3 episodes that we've seen,
Yeah.
there's always the mention of Superman.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious if when the Barry Allen, Grant Gustin Flash
Mm-hmm.
comes to Supergirl, if there's ever going to be any reference to the other Flashes.
Why would there be reference to other Flashes?
Well, so is the Henry Cavill Superman in the Supergirl universe?
no,
No? Oh, never mind then.
What they're doing is like, well, they set up a multiverse right away, right? So I think we're supposed to believe that like Earth 1 is the Arrow universe, right? Arrow, Flash, Legends. Then Earth 2 would be like those secondary characters that they've introduced, Jay Garrick and Zoom and whatever, Second Wells. And I'm thinking that either Supergirl's in an Earth 3 or is in Earth 2. I don't think she's on Earth 1. But maybe. But the only thing is they're setting up too much that this doppelganger is like looks exactly like you. So if they
That's
wanted,
what doppelganger is, Daniel.
I know, but but what I'm saying is it won't work then for the expanded universe to connect, because think about it, Ezra Miller doesn't look like Grant Gustin. So unless I think
And they're
Patrick
both
said
berries,
it,
yeah.
where as like maybe the farther the Earths go out,
Yeah,
like
more
the
like
less-
diluted and like
the less
appearances.
likely they look
that makes
alike.
sense. That makes sense.
You know, so like Earth 1 and Earth 52, assume because they said there's 52 of them,
Oh shit, they should market that. That'd be actually.
won't look anything alike, right? They could have blonde hair and dark hair, whatever.
Right.
And then 1 and 25 will look half alike, whatever.
Well, yeah, that makes sense too, because think of all the Supermen that they've introduced in the New 52. There's so many.
Yeah, if they're willing to, like-
there's a black Superman in one of the universes. Like, so yeah, that actually does make sense.
Yeah, if they want to account for like all the why Superman looks so different in cinematic history, they just they're all from like different worlds. Yeah.
Well, because I think they're even saying with the multiverse, like Adam West Batman is one Earth, Michael Keaton Batman is one Earth. Like
That's a cop out.
yeah.
Let's be honest here.
I don't know if that's like an official thing, but it's not even official that they're gonna use the multiverse in the movies. We're just assuming that that's their way into
if they want to be kind of playful with it and
connecting the TV and movie universes without having to connect the movies
And without having to explain themselves of prior projects, I guess.
right. And then they can get away.
You don't
with,
get that in Marvel.
Yeah, they can get away with having 2 different Flashes or whatever. But
Who was the first Hulk? What was his name?
first Hulk,
Yeah.
Bruce Banner. It's
No.
always been Bruce Banner.
No.
Really?
The actor who played it.
Oh, Lou Ferrigno.
Yes. Lou Ferrigno. What's that, huh? What universe is that in Marvel? Nowhere. No universe.
Yeah, but he now voices Hulk. Still,
Yeah, but he doesn't play Hulk, does he?
not technically. No,
he doesn't.
No, Mark Ruffalo actually does the mocap for him.
Lou Ferrigno will be the only one to ever play Hulk live action.
Yeah, well, he's freaking huge.
Even now, yeah.
And there wasn't good CGI back then.
Wasn't
There was
CGI
no
at
CGI
all.
at all.
All 70s and
It's the
80s.
70s.
Yeah, until T2, which even then was like
Well, actually, like even
something
the
different.
Abyss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, both. Yeah, James Cameron Productions, but yeah.
That's that James Cameron for you. Him and George Lucas.
We were just talking about that they don't think that Star Wars is going to surpass Avatar because it's not doing as well internationally, you said, Dan?
Yeah, the
Surprisingly, in China, I don't think it's doing as well as it.
the overseas market just doesn't have the same enjoyment for Star Wars as like Americans do.
Mm-hmm.
So when it released to like China and like all those like Asian countries and stuff, that it just didn't play as well. But for whatever reason, they just ate up Avatar.
Which is dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Avatar's not that good.
No, it's not.
Very interesting visually,
Right.
but it's like Pocahontas, really. It's the
Yeah.
same Native American story.
Yeah, like
Mhm.
just the visuals, and actually, I really did enjoy Zoe Saldana, and that film.
She
I,
did
I
good.
thought she actually gave a good performance.
Yeah.
But other than that, no.
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 No. But anyway, with the Flash stuff, I guess we can go into the episode now.
Yeah. Real quick, I just hope that they connect it well because, first off, we've never had any mention of Supergirl in The Flash or like a Superman, like Kryptonian person.
Mm-hmm.
There's no mention of National City where she lives.
Mhm.
Like they've mentioned Bloodhaven, they've mentioned Coast City, whatever, but they've never, and Midway City,
Mm-hmm.
even freaking, where was Roy from? Say he was hiding out, like Bum City or something like
I
that.
thought it was Bloodhaven.
No, it was like Brum City or something like that.
I'm gonna look it up.
And that's the home of the Question. That's where he lives. Whatever city he said that sounds like Bum is where the Question lives. So that means that possibly the Question could come
That'd
on
be really
to
cool
Arrow.
because I'd love to see that because just his look like on the animated Justice League show and even the comics where it's no face. I want to see if they can make that work because that might be a little too much for like live action.
I have a feeling that it's probably going to be some kind of like mesh mask.
Well, I think that's how it was in the Justice League show. There's a part where they actually do take off the mask and you see him actually his actual
okay.
face.
But yeah, it's going to be kind of like, do you remember what characters were those on Arrow? The like Mirakuru soldiers, I think, were like that, where it was very like washed out or like one like real smooth kind of masks and stuff like that. It's probably going to be like that, but like skin tone color.
Plus, they could also play with like the original Question or I think Renee Montoya.
No,
One-
it's going to be the man, Vic Savage.
Probably, yeah.
Savage?
Yep.
Vic Savage, yeah.
Correct.
Because he's the one that lives in that bum town
Mhm.
or whatever. I can't remember the name, but
And he's also affiliated with Blue Beetle, which would be sick.
Well, supposedly they're doing, which I haven't heard anything
With
more
Booster
of.
Gold thing?
Booster Gold and Blue Beetle movie.
Is that for Netflix or was it
Hub City.
Hub City. I wasn't even close.
You weren't.
Yeah, Hub City. That's where he's from. But they're not doing it for now. It's for the cinematic universe for DC.
Oh, for the maybe okay.
And Booster Gold is the father of Rip Hunter, and Rip Hunter's on Legends of Tomorrow.
So another question I have is, so like none of this stuff's connected as far as like Supergirl goes, but Rip Hunter has said twice now that he's seen Men of Steel
Fall or die and Dark Knight's Fall because Batman doesn't die.
But like I think those are just Easter eggs. I think that's just all they're going to be. It's just
well because they also
But what does that mean then though? Like has he traveled to multiple Earths? Is there in fact a Superman and Batman somewhere in the timeline where he is from? What does that mean?
I think Batman's in this universe
okay.
because
they mentioned Oracle.
Right. Oh, the name is taken. They've shown you on the newspaper Wayne Tech and Queen Consolidated's merger or whatever in the future. Mm-hmm. They've said Dark Knight's Fall.
But they haven't mentioned anything Superman related. That's my thing. They haven't said anything.
Well,
about
that's what I was getting at.
Which, by the way, I'm super disappointed. Which we can talk about in.
I know. Yeah, I was going to bring that up in a second.
Yeah, that
we'll
misdirection.
talk about it once we get to Legends of Tomorrow. But
what a big tease!
Such a freaking tease.
Oh.
Anyway, but yeah, they've mentioned no thing of Superman in this. We'll call it Earth 1.
Right.
Where is he?
Right.
Has Rip Hunter traveled to multiple Earths? That's all I want to know.
The only thing I can think of is, maybe if they do Supergirl's on Earth 2, because remember, he spends some time on Earth 2. There's 2 episodes. The next 2 episodes, Flash is in Earth 2.
Right.
So maybe he goes back somehow again, on his own this time, and that's where he runs into Supergirl. Mm-hmm. And then, so maybe they've been planning this for a little while, but kind of like didn't want to announce it yet, and then it kind of slipped out. So maybe in Earth 2, when they go this week and next week, maybe that's where they'll start to hint at Supergirl. They'll mention National City, and they'll say this. And then for Earth 1, her version of Doppelganger has no powers.
Right.
It's just a normal Kara Danvers, and there's Clark Kent is normal.
Or she doesn't exist because she's an alien.
Or she doesn't exist in
that might be the case.
She didn't get to Earth 1.
Yeah, maybe Krypton is still.
Yeah, maybe Krypton's still a planet. Maybe it doesn't blow up.
Right. So on Earth 2, I'd actually prefer if she was on Earth 2 and not Earth 1, because if you haven't set it up at all yet, you could much more convincingly put it on Earth 2 and be like,
it just feels like, okay, these writers are just making it up as they go.
Right. There's no plan.
They're just throwing stuff in there.
It's like, yeah, they should get some viewings. Yeah.
Honestly, I think the biggest thing is that Flash is going to Supergirl to save the ratings for Supergirl. That's the only reason.
I think that and why they brought, Martian Manhunter to like just
make it more interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I can only see. I think
Manhunter was the plan the whole time to bring that in.
Yeah, because they teased it right from the beginning.
Yeah, in the beginning, his eyes flash red. And even with Flash, I mean, they had that photo shoot together. Grant Gustin and
that's because they share
Melissa
producers.
Yeah, Greg Berlanti. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think that was the only reason.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Just to say, like, because they did an article like about Greg Berlanti having like super control of the DC television.
Like he's the one like with superhero stuff on TV. He is the guy.
Right. So that's why they were like, let's interview him, and then they did a photo shoot with his like new big shows and stuff. I don't think it was because maybe they had an idea back then, like a thought, but I don't think it became a true reality until recently. And then that's when they're like, okay, now that we're going to Earth 2, we can introduce them there. I think stuff.
Right now, with like all these Easter eggs they've been talking about, I just want them to do something a little bit more substantial, even though they do want these universes to be apart. Because like it's kind of like with like in the show Supergirl, we were getting tired of them using Superman, but just
as a crutch.
A crutch. I think they keep on using these, like these references, but I want something a little bit more than just the predictable reference they'll do for.
To be honest, I would be okay if they showed Superman fully. Like we didn't see. Yeah, I'm like, okay, it's not Henry Cavill, no big deal. We know it's separate, and we know that they don't look alike. And we have Barry Allen and Ezra Miller that are both going to play. What's the big deal?
Yeah, if you were to cast like another Superman just for like the show universes, like the ratings would go through the roof, especially for Batman.
Yeah. And it's not even about having the Henry Cavill Superman because, again, there's multiple universes. So it can be a different Superman. They can be totally different from each other. They don't have to look the same at all.
Like they really, really need to utilize the multiverse. Like they are, but like not to the full degree.
Have a different Superman, have a different Batman. Like, who was it? Chris Hessler?
Hessler, yeah.
Yeah, he was mentioning he thought it'd be cool if they did like a Batman television series, but set in the 80s. And almost have that be or even the 90s probably, like how Ben Affleck, his Batman becomes Batman. And used as a show as a prequel like thing. Like, yeah, we have Gotham.
Yeah, I was going to say we have Gotham.
But Gotham is like, we're going to have to wait 15 years before he's old enough, you know?
Until he grows into his ears.
Right. And they become a cowl.
Yeah. He doesn't even. That's what the cowl is. It isn't for the bat.
Just to hide his ears.
It's just so his ears can like fit like calmly in like a hood.
Right. But because like think about it. He's what 14. He's not going to become Batman for another 10 years at least. Mm-hmm. I'm not watching it for 12 seasons. Mm-hmm. They won't have material for 12 seasons.
No, I think the last season they're going to do like a 10 or maybe like a 5-year jump.
Especially how many characters they've already introduced.
And they're bringing Mr. Freeze in already. And like, I guess we're getting into Gotham real quick, but and that's one of Gotham's, I think, their biggest fault is they're introducing too much too quick.
Mm-hmm. I think they know that just the regular crime procedural aspect of the show just isn't enough.
Right, and they got away from that with the second season. I think so. They found that mistake and they fixed that. So I think their next step is to kind of, like, almost keep making up people for Gotham, and then you can just keep killing them off because all right, they don't make it. Whatever, that's fine. But at least you're not like, oh, here's Mr. Freeze, here's Poison Ivy, here's Catwoman, here's all that. Everybody already. It's like, well, what are they going to do for the next 10 years? Mm-hmm. That nobody stops them or whatever until Batman. Like he's the only one that could stop them. So. Of course he is. He's Batman. But what am I saying? As I'm wearing my really cool Batman shirt. But anyway, so back with Supergirl and stuff, yeah, they have to do some kind of mention. Like, they got to start now mentioning it. They should have been a while ago mentioning it. But, yeah, if you're going to do I've seen Man of Steel fall and, like, all this stuff and tease us with this, you got to give us something. Mm-hmm. So, more than just Easter eggs and name drops and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think it is a process. I don't think the writers are totally ignorant to the fact of like, oh, what about all the big characters that we have here in this universe? Like, they clearly know, but it's about doing it in such a way where they continuously mention the multiverse.
It's all about strategy.
You can't just throw away all the story arcs all those writers have been working on for months just to have Batman show up. You know what I mean?
And he would be, I think their biggest thing is he would upstage people, Batman, Superman, like they would kind of rule the show in a way. And then it kind of diminishes Arrow, it kind of diminishes Flash, you know? Mm-hmm. Maybe not Flash so much, but Arrow, like if Batman came up and people would be like, Green Arrow, nah, I don't care about him. Like it's Batman, you know? So.
Side note real quick about Heroes Overshadowing. Young Justice currently is out on Netflix seasons 1 and 2. And if they get enough views right now on Netflix, there's a possibility they're going to create a 3rd season.
I know.
So everybody who listens isn't a fan of all the superhero stuff, please watch all this stuff on Netflix. The first 2 seasons are phenomenal, and the way they ended the second one, you want more. You totally want more of what's going on. So please go check that out on Netflix.
In a very frustrating way, too, as well.
Oh, my God.
I love it.
Don't say what happens.
I'm not going to say, but I love it. I hate it when they...
Teen Titans did the same thing. We were talking about it the other day. It was left on a cliffhanger, too, wasn't it? When they run down a hallway or something into...
I don't think so.
No?
There's 3 seasons of Teen Titans?
I thought it ended on a cliffhanger.
3 or 4. It's weird how they package the DVDs.
3 to 6, I think. 2003 to 2006.
Yeah.
Plus, like, the movie, the Tokyo movie.
That was good.
Yeah.
With Brusho Gun. That was kind of funny.
Well, because I remember I was telling Patrick there's that Teen Titans Go episode.
Which is dumb.
And I know. And there's an episode, though, where they see, like, the old... Like, they basically see themselves in the old version of Teen Titans. Mm-hmm. And, like, the TV... like bad guy or something like that. It's like, if you don't start making your show better, like talking to the characters, because like you're on a TV show and it's like, if you don't start making it better, you're gonna get canceled, just like your old versions or whatever. And they see like watching themselves or whatever, and there's the shot of them like running down this hallway into like a light or whatever, and they're like, what? That's it? And like, yeah, you guys got canceled right there, and like all this stuff. It's like, what? That's not satisfying.
I haven't watched it in a while, but the last thing I remember was a giant battle between Brainiac.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's been a while. I'm gonna have to check it out
It's
again.
funny when shows do that, but like near the end of their run.
Mm-hmm.
So, the other time is just like just because you say your shit doesn't mean it doesn't make your show better. It just kind of reinforces the fact that you need to stop.
Yeah.
Right. But seriously, go check out Young Justice. It's a great show, especially for like the sidekicks of the superhero universe, which is Aqualad, Kid Flash, Robin, Martian Manhunter's niece,
Megan.
Magon.
Artemis
Artemis was just sick.
later on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Who else? Lagone or Logan or
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
They tried to like
the Lagoon boy, whatever the heck his name is. Impulse comes in from the future in one of the episodes, which is pretty sick.
Superboy.
Superboy, that's a big one. That's actually probably the biggest one.
Yeah, and it's like with Batman the animated series or Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's like it's a more adult kid show that you would expect.
It is,
especially from Cartoon Network.
It's not a silly. It actually has a very similar feel to some of the Teen Titans episodes, but it's not so like Japanese cartoony. That's I think it's the only difference. It's not so Japanese.
Especially
cartoony.
the second season, even with Speedy. I think it's the second season. He kind of goes. He has a very adult storyline.
Oh my gosh, that entire arc with Roy Harper is unreal.
Like they don't say it what they're really
Totally
referencing, but
unreal.
you get what his problem is a metaphor for.
Oh my goodness, and Blue Beetle's also in it too, and that's like a huge story arc of the second season with the Beatles. So, but yes, please check it out. Really appreciate it. But yeah, Supergirl coming back to everything. Just make more references, please.
Right. Tie them together better. All right, so let's go into Flash then, the episode itself.
The big thing that was happening in Flash this week is Harry was finally creating the tool that can steal the Speed Force from Barry, which he does. And the villain was Tar Pit, which is pretty cool.
A much better name than Turtle, yeah.
Yeah. But the main story arc was with that and the fact that stealing the Speed Force from Barry. There was the side thing which was also, I think, equally as big, of Iris not approving of Wally's racing.
Yes.
All the time. And that gets into some pretty dark stuff where with the Tar Pit trying to kill all the people that have killed him, basically, he flips the car and a piece of glass hits Iris right in the chest. Shoulder. Was it shoulder? Upper shoulder? And Barry could have stopped it, but because his Speed Force was stolen by Harrison Wells, he was unable to, and this whole debacle happens of Harrison actually telling Barry, like, I'm only doing it for my daughter and all this other stuff. So,
yeah, I'm really enjoying the actor who plays Wally. I think they got a good actor for him. And I was reading something that said he's going to be a lot like Roy, where he wears the red sweatshirt for a while, meaning like he's going to start a fascination with the Flash, but it's not like poof right away. He's going to get his powers.
Because they set it up in this episode that his fascination's in speed. He loves speed. So it's like, oh, well, obviously he's going to develop a strong relationship with the Flash. So
right, yeah, because they turned it into like a memory with his mom where it was like, oh, we always went for drives and like the rush of like, going the fast, wind and going fast, and I want to go fast. Would always like cheer him up or whatever. So like that's going to help him. Yeah.
And this episode sets up of them traveling to Earth 2 in order to continue to save Jessie Quick, Harry's daughter, and try to stop Zoom.
Right. That's like the big points of it. And of course, Wally and Iris and even Joe really start to connect a lot more.
As
like
a family, yeah.
Yeah, they're really like respecting each other and finding their niche with each other. So that was pretty cool. Zoom was in it, right, for a second or so.
Was he?
I think he was. He said a couple things. What was the one?
Oh, Harry tossed him the Speed Force and said, "I need more."
That's right, and he puts it in him and himself and stuff like that. Right. Because I remember you were like doing the voice, and I was like, "Stop it!" You're like,
Oh, Harrison Wells. It's fun to do that voice.
That hurts. Oh God.
You sound like Dr. Claw.
Yeah, that's pretty much what the voice is, isn't it? Oh, it hurts. Oh God.
No, I can do it.
It's all throat. I know, but it hurts a lot.
but like the thing about that is that's actually somebody's voice.
Yeah.
Like their resting voice, whatever.
Puberty must have been very disturbing.
What's
Yeah.
that?
For that guy when puberty.
Excuse me, Michael. Can you answer this question?
2 + 2 = 4.
Like, oh God. Okay, you're right. Even if he was wrong, he was right.
2 + 2 = fish. I'm not sure. Yes, it is. I will later voice Zoom. I need more speed.
But I mean, we talked about the switching of the universes when we're talking about Supergirl. We're really excited that they're entering Earth 2. We're gonna see Killer Frost. We're gonna see Deathstorm.
Mm-hmm.
Robbie's back. Robbie Amel's back. Yes.
As Ronnie Raymond.
Yes.
Yeah, it's always confusing.
Yes. So that's really exciting, and we're really just looking forward to how this story arc is going to continue over to that. I guess I've been going to Flash unless you guys have anything else on.
No, I mean this was a good episode. Mostly sad because I was just really looking forward just to Earth 2.
Yeah.
And I think it's 2 episodes worth of
Yeah.
Earth 2. So it's so good. They're making their stay.
Yeah, I'm glad they're finally going to Earth 2. I think they've been pushing it off long enough, so it's like you kind of have to go.
Yeah.
And as I say every week, I feel like do something better with Jay, make it more interesting.
He wasn't even in it.
Yeah.
You said that. Where's Jay? I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. Like CW, you're just handling Jay his story arc very poorly, I think.
Even having in the episode's fine. Like we understand that he's hurt, but like, what's he doing in his free time? What is he doing in
Like,
Earth
where
1?
is he?
Where is he?
He doesn't know anybody other than like the people at Star Labs. Does he have a house? Does he have an apartment?
Like
Like
just have him like
show that.
explore Earth 1. Like just that's
right, watching his doppelganger, which is that this
Hunter
episode
Zolomon.
or
That was
previous
previous
episode?
episode.
Right, Hunter Zolomon.
I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah, no,
Really
I think
not.
that was a cop out a little bit.
Mhm. But yeah, do work, CW. Keep doing work.
Yeah. Over to your original property for the Arrowverse, Arrow,
The OG.
OG show.
Mhm.
Arrow this week was about Thea's bloodlust has just totally made her like sick, and
The fact that she's not tending to it is killing her.
right.
The fact that she's not creating the bloodlust is resorting her back to her original state before the Lazarus Pit, as was told by us by Malcolm Merlin.
And the other bigger story, I think, is the fact that Roy comes into town. They find out they first run into him because they're chasing a guy down who's like stealing like technology stuff, and it turns out to be Roy, but it's not just Roy like regular. He's like not being controlled, but being forced to do.
He's being
these
controlled.
acts.
He's being controlled.
Oh, was he with the
He's under
Aussies?
there was a contact lens in his eye that was going into his brain that was controlled by the Calculator, who's the villain of this week's episode, and is making him steal all of this tech for a web nuke, they called it, in order to kill people in Starling City. Star City, excuse me. Thank you. In Star City was the goal.
And of course, they figured out quick enough. Felicity realized he has blue eyes, but of course, in the security cam that they were looking at, he had green eyes. And so she made Green Arrow, shoot him in the chest and like make it look like he was dead, but it really was just knocked out.
And Roy was like, "You had to shoot me?"
Yeah, he's like, we had to make it look convincing. Long story short, Roy ends up getting back in the game with them, suiting up, which is weird that they just magically had the suit that fits him.
Yep. He said he was living in Hub City, under the radar, kind of underground, until the Calculator discovered who he was, and threatened to tell the world who he was and who they were, all of Team Arrow. So that's why he kind of did it with the Calculator. So I guess he was kind of under the influence, but also being blackmailed. So yes.
And also, what else?
Roy and Thea have a very nice moment.
Oh, that was so nice.
That was
Yeah.
really
Did
like.
you see the picture that Willa Holland posted on Instagram? It was like an animated picture of them. Patrick, did you
Yes,
see
I
that?
think so.
No, show me.
It's really, really nice. But that was nice closure Hopefully Roy will come back in the future.
And for me, that was probably some of the best acting from that actor.
Yeah.
From Colton Haynes.
Yeah, Colton Haynes, and just the character of Roy was always just like to me. Actually, I always prefer Thea. Oh, that's really good.
Is that cool?
I like the
Mm-hmm.
I just prefer Willa Holland as Thea, and actually as Speedy. She just does a lot more for me.
Yeah, I think it was just. I don't know if I don't blame it on the actor. I blame it on their story and the way they wrote
the writing
Roy.
for him. For me, wasn't that good.
Yeah.
So I think, but
Colton Haynes is hilarious.
Yeah, I do like Thea as the sidekick better.
And I was feeling like really like anxious, like, oh fuck, don't die.
Have you seen that video on Funny or Die where it's Colton Haynes talking about the wage gap between female models and male models? It's so funny.
Yeah, he's in something else. He's actually going to be in a movie about like high school wrestling with the son from Breaking Bad, and it's about a kid who has CP trying to become a wrestler.
Interesting.
And like Colton Haynes like teaches this kid or something, or like he's like a mentor kind of thing.
Interesting.
So, yeah,
I'm curious to see how that
goes. That
goes.
was like his next project or whatever.
Yeah. And we see more Mr. Terrific today. A little more Echo Kellum in there. We're really excited about him being more involved. To me, that was his first combat scene that he actually did stuff. Because the first one was when the people I think it was Anarchy or Damien Dark people who came into the lair and started shooting up the place.
Yeah.
So for him to like fight back against Roy, throw the Terrific bomb, and realize that it didn't work out the way he wanted it to, was going to make him want to work on it more and eventually take on the role as Mr. Terrific.
I hope they do something. I'm starving. Hopefully they do something with them and not Wildcat. I will never forgive the writers for Wildcat. If I ever go to a Comic-Con and they're there, that's going to be my biggest question. It's like, why is it that you're very good at starting character story arcs, but you're not very good at finishing them? Wildcat. Arsenal. Terrific. Brand or the Atom, because they kind of just pushed him over to Legends to see if like they can continue his story. But Wildcat's the biggest.
I gotta be honest, I'm a little sad that they didn't put Speedy in Legends of Tomorrow.
Thea?
No. Just sorry, Roy Harper.
Oh.
That Red Arrow didn't go into Legends of Tomorrow. I'm kind of upset about that.
That would have been cool.
Yeah, actually,
because I mean, Roy's a useful character. He's a useful henchman, whatever you want to call it.
I honestly think it was because Colton Haynes probably wanted to move on to like, it wasn't like they didn't want him on the show anymore. He just like, and that's why they didn't kill him off, because he wanted to be able to come back, but he also branch out, work on other things. And that's why I think Robbie Amell wasn't on Legends. And that's why they got the kid Jax, which we'll talk more about in a second. But because he wanted to be able to work on other things.
Which he has, like X-Files.
And movies like The Duff and whatever. So
yeah, they're both doing fine. I'm just a little sad. I'm sad. It's selfish.
Missed opportunity.
I'm selfishly sad that they didn't.
I also think that they would have killed it with Constantine on the show.
Yeah,
because Constantine up against Vandal Savage with his like powers. And
but again, we talked about last week for every season being a new team of superheroes or whatever you want to call them.
I'd rather, but Constantine, if they did with that golden age, like of the superheroes, wouldn't fit with.
But I mean, also with Constantine, you got to remember that the Justice League Dark's still in development right now for the cinematic universe. So we all know what happens to heroes that are in the TV universe that want to be in the cinematic universe.
Yeah, but like when they brought him in for that episode this season, like it was one of the highest rated episodes they've had in a while, other than like the mid-season premiere this year. Like people so badly wanted to see Constantine, and like they that was one of my favorite episodes, probably of the whole show. Like they did it so well with bringing him in, and like even bringing him in and sending him out kind of thing. Like he did a nice little in and out kind of thing, and the way they played it off, like, oh, if you ever need help kind of thing, like let me know. It was like, all right, that means he has to be coming back,
right?
So hopefully that's the case. Maybe down at the end of the season, where like they're like, all right, ready to face Dark, who has magic powers, or like we need Constantine back to show us some stuff. We'll see.
And the other final thing in the episode that happened is that you find out that the Calculator, who they don't know who the Calculator is, his face, because he's been disguised the whole movie. When he comes to Felicity's speech what she did nail at Palmer Tech, it's her dad.
Right.
The Calculator is her dad, which they have no idea. Yeah, seriously, but you have no idea what it's about. So that's going to be interesting. New story arc coming into the show, because for the preview next week, we have the fact that Nyssa wants Oliver.
Oh yeah, we forgot to mention Nyssa for this episode.
Who comes in yet and faces Katana, who they just killed off Katana.
She died?
Did she die?
Did she?
They
I thought
didn't
they
show
just
it.
kinda,
They,
like-
they showed her for like the one scene, and they're like, let's put our swords down and talk, and then we never see her again.
I have
So-
I have a feeling she died, or if not, she's going to die soon because of Suicide Squad coming
But it's
out.
weird to bring her back. Like, you almost could have just never showed her again, and people probably would have been like okay with it. It was weird to be like that had to be the character that it was.
But so this comes and says, we can cure Thea through this lotus, which reverses the effects of the Lazarus pit as far as the bloodlust goes. But the only way she's going to let Oliver Queen use it for Thea is if that he kills Malcolm Merlyn. So they're about to close this story arc with Nyssa and the League of Assassins and all this that's going on over here. So that is the purpose of, I think.
Do you think
the calculator?
Do you think that he is going to kill Malcolm?
No.
Patrick?
I'd like to because that'd be a good direction and just giving the show's balls.
Mm-hmm.
But they're gonna find some cop out, some Deus Ex Machina just to get around it.
I bet Nyssa dies.
You think so?
I'd believe that more than Malcolm dying.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one's
The only way Malcolm
think.
would die is if he willingly sacrifices himself to save his daughter, which is a super campy type thing that CW would do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only way I could see him dying. Other than that, with him seriously trying to kill Nyssa and make sure like things don't happen, it's not gonna happen.
Like
that
that'd be
way.
campy, but I can understand that more because that is character based. And
Because I mean,
after what they've developed with him between him and Thea,
yeah,
it makes sense. So actually, I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see if they killed Malcolm off. I think that'd be pretty cool because, like you said, it would be kind of ballsy to be like, oh, wow, you just killed off somebody that's been here from the start or whatever, now 4 seasons and has been kind of like a thorn in he's kind of been a friend to me, to Oliver all along and stuff. Like, now he's gone, and then you have Nyssa, who now becomes Ra's al Ghul, which is all she's ever wanted. And
that closes it pretty much.
yeah, that's can be the end of it. Be like, okay, cool, like you just do your
Maybe. We'll see.
your race thing. Guess we'll find out this week.
Tune in next week.
Tune in this week to find out.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty much it with the Arrow, not the Flash.
Pretty much.
Well, Felicity gets more confidence back in herself.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of her character continues to develop with last week's episode and this week's episode. So I think that's nice. It's nice to see her character develop more than just Felicity Smoke, tech girl who also is in a relationship with Oliver Queen. You find more about the character, which I think is good for the show.
It's just funny that you had to wait till she was in a wheelchair to really
Yeah,
get her
right.
character, But I guess it's better than never having it. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like having the calculator be her dad is kind of like when they do in Star Wars where everybody's related.
Yeah.
It's kind of a little small. I know actually in the beginning of the season, I think they were going to have it that Damien Dark was her father. And then they quickly decided,
That
no,
would've
we're not
been
going to do
even
that.
smaller.
Because then, because you had Andy Diggle who was in Hive, and then you had her dad who was in Hive, and then it's kind of like, all right, that's too much.
I don't think having her dad as a calculator is too small because, I mean, it's just a random villain. You know what
Yeah,
I
I
mean?
think that's why I don't mind him being her father because we're now being introduced to him, and if it was like Damien Dark, like okay, when was this really like hinted at all?
Right.
In all honesty, we might not even see him next week, the calculator, because they have to deal with this League of Assassins thing.
Mm-hmm.
League of Shadows.
League of Assassins.
What's League of Shadows?
Batman Begins.
Thank you. So, yeah, I think we probably won't even see the calculator until the following week.
At the very most, they would like tease it at the very end or something like that.
Just like, I got to go see my dad, or maybe the mom's somehow involved with Felicity for like the B plot with Quentin. Quentin, you dog, man.
Quentin hasn't been around in a while.
He hasn't. It's because he's been too busy fucking Felicity's mom.
Wow.
I went for it.
No, I guess he just really hasn't had a lot to do. So,
No.
which makes me think that it might not be Quentin, because I feel like that they're killing
They would
off,
build that up more.
because
yeah.
I feel like he'd be around more if they were going to kill him off. So maybe it's Malcolm that they kill off, and that's how that's like they kill him off now, and then that's who is in the grave.
Nah.
Because I don't think Ollie really would have.
Because he says he doesn't blame himself, but yet somehow
But the
feels
fact that he's gonna like take enough emotion to kill somebody over it,
Yeah.
Why would Felicity?
I don't
be
know.
there
I'm
as
sticking
well?
with Baby Mama. That's my guess. Because I would be so interested to see that, like, bam, the baby mama's dead. Now he has to raise this son that he barely knows and stuff.
And that's when he has to tell Felicity.
Felicity.
That, yeah, he had a. Yeah.
And also, we know that we're going to see Connor Hawk in the future, which is like 2 or 3 episodes from now, from this week or whatever, that we'll see future one-armed, bearded Oliver Queen and his son Connor Hawk.
Super excited for one-arm Oliver Queen.
Is it just
my
like?
gosh.
It's not like a mechanical arm instead,
Nope.
or it's just one, okay.
From like the
Mm-hmm.
elbow down has no arm, and that comes from the Dark Knight
Knight.
Returns comic book series.
Yep, when Bruce reaches out to
Oliver.
no, Bruce, to Oliver. But how about with Superman?
And Oliver like hangs upside down and pulls the bow back with his teeth, and shoots an kryptonite tipped arrow at Superman.
Nice.
I was like, cool, but he looks like a bum in it.
Speaking of kryptonite,
Oh yeah, we'll segue into Legends.
so Legends this week was definitely the best episode by far. I
Yeah.
think so. I think
Character wise, yeah.
Actually,
character wise,
more invested.
and the storyline I think was just a little bit better with going into Savage in the 70s. But so my thing with Kryptonite is in the trailers of Legends of Tomorrow before it was coming on, there's a scene where Captain Cold is looking at a green stone in a glass case.
Right.
To the average DC fan,
And well, mind you, that's a very similar shot to the Batman vs Superman trailer where Lex does the
Yes.
same kind of thing, like crouches down and looks into this case.
and as normal DC fans, you see green rock, you think kryptonite.
Right.
It's a freaking emerald. Come on, man.
Unless it still is kryptonite,
But people just think it's an emerald.
Just call it a different name.
But so Leonard starts stealing this emerald, so his dad doesn't have to go to prison and then for 5 years and then come back and start beating the shit out of his kids.
Right.
So
Which remember is in the past, so like Leonard would be a kid and all that stuff.
So when Leonard goes into his house when he's a kid and like drops the stone off for the dad, he runs into his younger self. My name's Leo. The kid was adorable.
Yeah.
And his dad comes in the picture. He's like, listen, you're going to steal this tomorrow. Don't tell me that if I go in the basement, I won't see floor plans. I'm giving you this so you don't have to go to jail. Raise your kids right. And so you don't have to, and if this happens, then I won't have a sister or something like that.
Well, he also has that nice moment with his younger self, kind of like, don't let anybody ever change you in your mind and in your heart, kind of like, and he taps him on him.
Moment for me.
Yeah, that was like a real nice character moment for Leonard Snart.
Especially because he wasn't so theatrical. He was more just like a human.
Yeah, because like other than he kind of like mugs for the camera, really plays up just that.
Yeah,
that
let's get weird.
Yeah, right.
70s. It's like very like snake.
Very comic booky.
Yeah.
I'm a snake.
And then it turns out that his dad tries to sell the emerald the next day and still goes to prison for 5 years.
Which I like. I like how they just kind of like the timeline just it sucks. Life sucks. Like no matter what you do, it's gonna turn out.
I think that's a really interesting thing that they're doing as far as treating the timeline, because there's so many different ways through Back to the Future theories and all the other movies where they've messed with timeline things. Is that for this one, no matter what you do, it's going to be the same.
It's like they're incorporating like destiny into it, basically.
I think it's really interesting concept bringing it up to this of how they're doing it.
I almost think it would have been a little more interesting to have it where, yeah, he still goes to prison, but because he's not, he goes to jail for the 5 years or whatever, he doesn't have a second kid. So maybe like the sister's not born or something like that. Little bit of a change could be interesting.
Well, even in real time, before he even changed it, he still went to jail for 5 years.
Yeah, that's true. But maybe just like still there was like sister, and it's like I'm not having another kid, you know, like that, and
maybe.
like he's more protective or something now, or more
Which would be
cautious.
sad because the Golden Glider's really hot.
Yeah, she's from something else I've seen her in, and I didn't realize it was the same actress, but I can't think of what it was. But anyway, yeah, so like nice moment for Snart, a little more character development for him. Everybody else, you got a nice moment for Victor for Martin Stein and for
Roy. Oh wait, no.
Ray.
Yeah, Raymond as he would call him. Even though he keeps like, yeah, I remember you. No, I don't remember you. Yeah, I remember you. Like, no, I don't remember. It's like because basically the Atom decides he's going to shrink down to like real microscopic size and go inside Kendra and like get out, like blast out these
Knife particles that are killing her.
the knife shrapnel pieces, whatever, that are getting towards her heart. And so he goes in there, but then the first time and like kind of has like a panic attack or whatever, and so he has to quickly come back out.
A shard like hits his suit and it starts malfunctioning.
Right. So then when he goes in the second time, Martin Stein gives him like a nice pep talk, like, yeah, I remember you were a genius and blah, blah, blah. And then he does it, and then he gets out, and then he's like, long story short, he ends up not actually remembering who he was, but knows, like, or he can see now that he has
Like if I had like hundreds
potential
of students, I'm definitely gonna remember you.
Yeah. So he, like, they have a nice moment there. Jax doesn't really have much to do other than like be the driver to Mick and Leonard.
I have a problem with Jax.
Yes.
I don't know what it is. The character itself is just not interesting. I don't know if it's
actor for me.
You think it's Franz? I think it is too. I think
He's
it
not
might.
the strongest actor.
I think it might be Franz.
Which
drama.
nothing racial here, but like I've never heard of a black person named Franz. Is he not from America?
No. I think he's from Europe because he's
okay.
in Attack the Block with John Boyega.
Oh,
okay.
really? Okay. Well,
Yeah, that's where I first saw him. I was like, oh my god, that's Jax from Flash. That's so cool. But yeah, he's not. He's from Europe. But even so, it's just not as interesting. And I don't know if it's the writing trying to like find his character.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still not there. Whatever they're trying to do, it's just not there, and it's not really working.
Right.
So, do better.
I'm also like waiting for the moment where because they keep saying like, oh, this show's crazy, like it's gonna get wild and blah blah blah. It's like, well, when?
Hopefully, like after Jonah Hex comes in, like
Yeah,
then
at this
they'll,
point,
like, okay.
that's pretty much what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for one-armed Oliver, and then 3 episodes later for Jonah Hex, and then like that's the only thing I'm really caring about. And then some of the other like superheroes they said they're gonna like. I'm at this point. I feel like I'm watching it just for like the superheroes they bring in, not even for the story itself, because I don't really care. I don't care about this team. They're not very exciting.
Yeah. There's more character development still though between Sarah and Rip, where they both kind of help each other out.
Right.
With emotions they're dealing with. For Sarah, it's the bloodlust, and Rip telling her like, you don't have to be a killer, like you don't have to do this, you can control it. And for Sarah, it's with Rip, who we see in this episode tried to kill Vandal Savage once before all this curse stuff happened, back in Egypt, and couldn't do it just because he just didn't have it. He felt like he didn't have it in him, and he comes back again after they try. We find out that Savage takes the blood of Carter and feeds it to his followers, so they also get some immortality as well, which is really interesting. I thought that was kind of a cool little
The one thing
plot to put in there.
with the Egyptian stuff is like they have like one room in the palace.
I've been
like
noticing
that
that, like, they
it's
really
like the
don't go
same
anywhere
room
else.
that they'll sometimes put the bed in
then,
there,
like,
and
the one
sometimes not have the bed.
CG establishing shots.
Right.
Also, tell me that Leonard Snart's childhood home was not Barry Allen, was not the West House. Tell me it wasn't the West
I
House.
wouldn't put it past them. They keep on reusing
Totally
sets
was.
to save money.
The interior is a little bit different, but it was totally the West House.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
Maybe just the back half or something like that. 'Cause
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't
didn't
take much
realize
to
it.
redress the set.
Oh, when he comes in the front door, you're talking about. Yeah, no, that
Right.
did look. Actually, I thought so, but I think it had an additional like living room behind the stairs.
They made the house seem like the dad was in fact like a small criminal. Like it wasn't a well-off family who, you know, in a happy
It was more
home.
cluttered in this
It-
house.
It looked like a house that had some internal struggles within the family.
Yeah, Barry's is a little more spacious. Yeah.
Yeah. So it could be. I mean, it was definitely the same house that Vandal Savage and Damien Dark had, which could be like a connected thing. But I think it more or less was just because they used the same locations. Because there's probably people out there that only watch. There's definitely people that only watch Flash, only watch Arrow, only watch Legends. I don't know anybody that probably just watches Legends.
Legends is like, I think is going to be probably the most expensive show. Yeah.
Yeah, they said it already is. I mean, because you figure all these almost every villain or every hero except for like Sarah has some kind of powers, or like their guns that have the powers.
They require more computer effects to develop
Right, Sarah
their
is just
abilities.
the band.
Almost like
You
a
know,
million per episode, maybe. I don't know.
a billion.
A million? Not a
Oh,
million.
no, it's probably
Close, or
even more than that.
800,000. Yeah.
Because it's all visual effects, and then they're traveling the world, but really
Are they
it's-
still in the 70s for this?
Nope. For this episode, they are.
They're going. No, the 4th episode. They're going to Russia, '86.
They're on the 80s. Yep.
Oh, thank God.
They're going to the 80s. But with Rip Hunter again, he finds the courage to finally slit Vandal Savage's throat, which was pretty badass.
That was just kind of tense. Like,
But of course, it was like, you can't kill me. You know.
Well, I was like, I'll come back, and then he mentioned. Rip mentions his wife and son. He's like, I will remember their names and then look forward to killing them. And then, like, dies.
Yeah. But he doesn't. Does he die?
Well,
he doesn't really die, right? Because it has to be Kendra that kills him.
He doesn't die. I think it's kind of like a Wolverine thing where he just
he like gets knocked
happens,
out or something like
but
that.
then he just regenerates life.
Right. That's why they should have taken the body with him, like while he was still knocked out. Just picked up Kendra's hand with a knife in the hand. To go. All right, cool. We got him. Let's go back to our time. But now that wouldn't make for good television, would it?
No.
So it would have been done in 4 episodes. It could have been a mini series.
Yeah, I actually went on, and then when Sarah looked like she was like stabbing that one guy in the face repeatedly. I actually thought she was that first.
Yeah, that was intense.
Like after seeing that, that throat slit, like I was like, oh, it's fucking A, man.
Yeah, and
But
then
no,
she was just jabbing the floor.
Which should have been pretty obvious to me, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, that was a nice symbolic moment to be like, okay, I'm kind of like I'm still like angry, but I'm also like controlling what I'm doing with So Legends is interesting.
It's getting there. I think it's getting there. I'm excited for them to go in the 80s and see what comes up next in the show.
Yeah. Hopefully they just keep. I'm okay with if every episode they were in a different time period, different location. Like instead of hanging around the time like they did with the 70s. Like I like the 70s, but
I mean, this show does have elements of Doctor Who in it.
Oh, totally.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, even like the actor who plays Rip Hunter was in Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they could definitely do that just for that sake.
Doctor Who is leaving Netflix. All of them except for like a documentary about Doctor Who, but like the main, like the classic Doctor Who, and then even the new like versions or whatever, it's all leaving it, so you can't watch it.
Interesting.
And so I think the CW shows might be leaving Netflix too.
Yeah, you said that, yeah.
So I don't know if CBS is going to put Supergirl on there. Hopefully it does, so I have a way of catching up. But that's not till the season's done. But yeah.
What was the preview for next week's episode of Legends? I don't even remember.
They're going to the 80s. I think I remember reading ahead that it's something to do with Russia. They're in Russia, and
probably like a nuclear or something.
Snart has to
Cold War or something.
Like try and woo some girl that has like a nuclear codes or something like that. Or I think it's like Ray tries first and fails, and they put Leonard in there because he's a better like swindler, and that's what happens. And I don't know what the rest of the people are doing.
Right.
It kind of seems like they'll have a main story, and then they're kind of like, oh shit, what are we gonna do with everybody else? Like
that's the problem with the big cast is you gotta have
everybody's doing something.
Story B, story C.
Right, and the other shows like Arrow and Flash, they solve it by just not having them in the episode, the Quintons or Jay Garrick, whatever. But this show, you would, because they're like pretty much on a spaceship and that's it. You're kind of like, all right, well, where would they be? Where would they hide? So the main story for this one was definitely Sarah and Rips of going into the bank and like all that stuff. Probably the smallest story would have been the Ray and Martin story.
And that one, and I think it's just because the Leonard Snart one was just way more interesting. Is why that one supersedes that one. It's just because he's going back, and you see that little ounce of humanity that we see sometimes in Flash that involves his family and his sister.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's always there, but you don't see it a lot, so you kind of forget. Because even, like, the first time we met Leonard Snart and Barry, like, his identity is revealed to Snart, he's kind of like, okay, well, I'm not going to tell anybody as long as you kind of let me be me and you be you, and we'll kind of have a mutual respect. So he kind of, like, always respects
no
people.
killing, though.
Right. He can't kill anybody. That doesn't stop him in Legends, though. In the 70s, it doesn't apply.
Who did he kill?
Well, you know what's weird is if you ever notice, like, him and Rip's guns, like, they'll be blasting people.
Not Rip.
I'm sorry.
Mick.
Mick and Leonard's guns. They're, like, blasting people, whatever, but you never see anybody on fire. You never see anybody frozen.
I think you might have seen one person frozen.
Right,
the
but like
entire
when
thing.
he's in Flash, it was like, psh, and he's an
Yeah.
icicle.
Yeah, I don't know if that's just them being cost effective or something. Like, okay,
Probably.
just do like, okay, then they're good.
Yeah, that's all they do. They'll just
Yeah.
do these big like sweeps.
I think it's just an inference where you're like, okay, you know, they have these guns. They do the same formation where they just spin around each other. So obviously they're doing something.
Right, so they're being
So,
helpful, and then you have everyone else that, like the Sarah and all them that come in and like just beat him up and rip. His gun's pretty cool, like the laser, like six
The
shooter
revolver, yeah,
yeah,
It's such like, oh, that's just
Like a Western,
sci-fi
'cause-
Western kind of.
which could be incorporated when they have Jonah Hex in the old West.
I have a feeling it's going to be kind of like, here, use this,
Yeah.
kind of thing. And he keeps it, or thanks for helping us out. Here, keep it, kind of thing. I saw one of the shots. It was pretty cool. It was like a wide shot, and it was supposed to look like the Magnificent Seven, where like all the horses were across. It's called like the Magnificent Eight or something, like kind of a tease on the
Cool.
Magnificent
So
Seven.
there'll be also like a tribute to like those classic westerns. Yeah.
I want to watch the Magnificent Seven. I bought it on Blu-ray. I'll have to watch it soon. Probably 2 weeks from now, I'll watch it. Anyway, doesn't matter. Well, we're at pretty much over an hour here.
Are we really?
We're at about an hour and 10 minutes.
Wow, we thought today
It would be a
was
short
gonna
episode. I
like
guess we
30
take that back,
minutes.
guys.
We just know how to talk, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I think the Supergirl stuff, we didn't expect that to happen. That's what it was.
That's true. That's all I got.
And so yeah, be sure to check us out on Facebook, SoundCloud, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Tell your friends.
Google
Play now. We are now on Google Play.
Oh, really?
We
Yes.
should be. I don't know how to look for a podcast on Google Play. I'm not too familiar with it, but we should
You
be.
can check it out. Don't-
If you
wait.
if you get a chance
Yeah,
later,
Samsung, check it out.
check it out. We should be up there. They got approved, so should be there.
So yeah, check us out later at same geek time, same geek channel.